guys, welcome back webheads, and welcome back to the best of the best to the worst of the worst. Today we'll be counting down the best to the best, the worst of the worst Batman movie. So let's start with the worst. Number 7, we have Batman and Robin. Now this film is basically hated by everyone that loves Batman and grew up watching Batman. And I am with it. I hate this movie. I don't think it's anything good to see. First off, you have George Clooney and with the bat nipples, and previously George Clooney and the director came out saying this movie was a atrocity and it was just really bad, and they apologized for this. That's how bad it is for most people. And I gotta say, I wish they did not ever make this movie. And just Mr. Freeze and the stupid one-liners and just like the villains of the film were pretty stupid, like Bane, and I mean, I guess the Poison Ivy was okay to look at, but other than that, it looked too cartoony, so yeah. Number 6, we have Batman Forever. Now, this movie kind of reminds me of what they did with The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where they basically just put in too many cartoony characters and none of them got developed. And I like Jim Carrey's as the Riddler, but the other villains I did not like in this movie. And the director wanted to take some cues from The Dark Knight Returns, but I didn't feel like they ever did that. But I mean, the Riddler is basically the only thing that like I liked about this film, other than the fact that like before Jim Carrey was the Riddler, he was more of the nerdy scientist and was more of an outcast or whatever. That's what I didn't really like about it. But you know, other than that, when he turned into the Riddler, I think it was pretty good and believable. But yeah, I didn't really like it. The movie was pretty messy, and yeah, some of the it has some shaky cam moments and all that. So yeah, that's why it's very low on my list. Number 5, we have The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I was pleasantly disappointed with this film because I actually had so much high hopes for this movie because I love The Dark Knight. It's my best movie of the Batman universe, and that's spoiler alert for my number 1. So yeah, anyway, I did not really like this movie. Bane was an okay villain. He was redeemed from the Batman and Robin series, but I just, this was kind of disappointing to me. I was in the theater after watching the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, and because I needed to see something new, and this movie was just so boring. I was actually checking my watch and checking when this movie comes out of theaters. That's how boring I was, bored from it, because there was nothing fun about it. I mean, some of the action they kind of brought in the bat and stuff, but other than that, I didn't really find anything like really new from this franchise. But yeah, I mean, it's great that I have this at number 5 because this film basically split this fan base in half. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I'm on the minority of hating this film because I do not really find anything great in this movie. But that's just my opinion, and I know some people like it, but I'm just not in that minority. At number 4, we have Batman Begins. Now, this film kind of started off a little shaky for me because I like Christian Bale as Batman, and I like when they got casted as Batman, but I did not think it started off as a good series because it had a stupid Batman voice when Christian Bale was Batman, and then it had some shaky cam moments a little bit. Not as bad as the previous ones, the previous movies, but the villain Scarecrow in it wasn't believable as a villain. I didn't really like him as that villain. It's no fault of the actor's fault. I thought the actor did fine, but the villain wasn't like a straight up good villain like they did in the follow-up film. But yeah, that's just my opinion, and I know some people do like this movie. I do like it. It's pretty good, and it has some emotional scenes to it. But so yeah, I gotta have it at number 4. Number 3, we have Batman, the original 1989 Tim Burton Batman. Now, I had some memories with this movie. Now, I actually watched this movie before I watched the original X-Men movies and original Spider-Man movies. I watched this movie about when I was 1 or 2 years old, and I know that's pretty why would I watch it that young, but I had to grow up on comic books because I love comic books, and I still do, which is why I'm a big comic book nerdy person right now. And so I had really great memories with this movie. I really like Jack Nicholson as the Joker, but it did not live up to the 2008 Dark Knight movie as the Joker portrayal in there. But I gotta say, for what it was, I thought Michael Keaton was good as Batman, and I gotta say, I like the Joker in this movie. And some people just say that Jack Nicholson's born to play the Joker, and I don't, blame anyone that says that. I just think that they stepped up in the 2008 follow-up, whatever. So yeah, we have Batman Returns. Now this movie actually introduced me to Catwoman like I have never seen her before. And sure, like the Dark Knight Rises version was pretty good with Anne Hathaway, like a modernized version, but I thought Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer, I believe is her name. I don't know if that's her last name, but I really do like her interpretation of Catwoman. She's the one that actually got me started to liking the character of Catwoman, because I thought it was just like a ripoff of Black Cat from the Spider-Man universe, but this character got me liking it, and I did not like the standalone movie they had for her, but it got redeemed when 1989's Batman was there, and they even redeemed it in The Dark Knight Rises a little bit, but the 2005 Halle Berry movie was so awful that I don't even want to think about it anymore. So yeah. Finally, my number one, you guys guessed it, it's The Dark Knight from 2008. Christopher Nolan's Batman is just the best Batman movie they've ever made. I love it to death. Like Christian Bale calmed down as Batman, so he's not like a stupid, like psychotic person like he was in the first movie. But I still liked it. I actually love this movie, and I thought Christopher Nolan knocked it out of the park. And this is where I actually thought Christopher Nolan, started his great directing skills. Because after The Dark Knight Rises, I saw that his The Dark Knight Rises was a bad movie because I was like so hyped on The Dark Knight that I had so high expectations for The Dark Knight Rises that I got disappointed by it. But after The Dark Knight Rises, I told myself I want to go see Inception, which I saw Inception. I got it on DVD, and I was like, oh my god, that's a really great movie, and Christopher Nolan's back. And he did it with Interstellar as well. I like that movie as well. And The Dark Knight just, for me, started his whole directing era, and I gotta say, like, this is where I could tell that Christian Bale loved playing Batman, and just all the supporting characters that were in this movie that never overshadowed the amount of villains in it or anything. Like, there's a lot of villains. There's like Two-Face, Joker, and maybe Scarecrow a little bit, and then like the three villain scenario actually worked here. Like, that's a really weird thing to say, is like there's like 2-3 villains running around this movie, and they played out it perfectly. And I never thought it was gonna be overcrowded like something when I saw like a Spider-Man movie when it's overcrowded. So yeah, that's it. So that's my whole list of the worst to the worst to the best Batman movies of all time. Make sure you leave your list down below. I'd love to hear how or what movies you thought in the Batman franchise were good and what ones you thought were bad. Make sure you leave thoughts on this down below. Thank you guys for watching, Webheads. Feel free to subscribe for more content. I'm going to make more content. I know I've been kind of like on a late stroke and I haven't really been uploading to this channel, but I promise you I'm going to be making more content for this, more and more for this channel, because I've kind of neglected it ever since I've hit like almost 50, 60 subscribers for Geek Reviews. So I've kind of neglected this channel, but I can assure you this channel is going to be back, and you can see more and more comic book movies and news stories from this channel. Again, thank you guys for watching, Webheads, and I'll talk to you guys later. I love you guys, and peace.